Well, hello there. It's Liam from Unique Cars and Parts, and I'm in here. I'm at what would normally be beautiful Byron Bay. I've tried to find a fairly protected area, which seems very difficult in amongst the trees. Cyclone Omar has just hit the coast. Well, it's about 700 kilometres away. No big deal, really. There's a lot of big waves out there, but I'm not here to talk about the surf. I'm here to talk about a $500 Mazda that was sold on Unique Cars and Parts, our website, and it only had 58,000 kilometres on it, and I thought, bloody hell, I better get that. So my son went and had a look at it, and he went and bought it, and I'm going to ask Tim if he'd step into the picture, come over and have a few words. So this is my son Tim. He's a little embarrassed.
Hi. Hello.
Hey Tim. Now, when we saw this go up on Unique Cars and Parts, you went down there the same day.
That's right, yes.
And what did you think of it when you saw it?
I couldn't believe it. It was unbelievable, the condition that it was in. Yeah.
And I said to you, we could buy this for $500 and I'm going to try and drive it around Australia. And you thought I'm an idiot.
No, I thought it could do it quite easily.
You normally do think I'm an idiot.
Normally, but no, this was a sensible decision, this car, I thought, based on the condition that it was in.
A sensible decision to buy a $500 car. Well, I don't know that your soon-to-be future wife has the same opinion of that. I'm going to ask Kelsey. Kelsey, would you like to come in? So this is Kelsey. Now, as we were driving down to Byron Bay from the Gold Coast, we were passing a lot of cars, and we had a bit of a sort of like an I Spy type game. It was spot the car that you'd prefer to be in the Mazda instead of, and there was no cars that you liked, that you saw that you would have preferred to be in. I'm putting that wrong. There were no cars that you wanted to be. You didn't want to be in this. You wanted to be in them. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, except for one.
Yes. There was one on the side of the road that had been set alight, obviously had petrol pulled over it and set on fire, and I'd probably pick the Mazda, but that's the only one.
Yeah, she picked it because this car would get her home in one piece. So, what are your thoughts on it now that we've driven from Southport, isn't it, to Byron Bay?
Oh. Look, it's not too bad. You could sit in it, but I probably wouldn't want to drive it to Perth.
What's the furthest distance you want to go? I'm assuming home is the answer.
Yeah, home is definitely. I'd go to the shops and then I'd leave it there. And
with the key in the ignition.
Well, maybe somebody else would have some fun with it.
It's a lot of fun to be had in the Mazda, apparently.
Yes, unbelievable amounts of fun.
Okay, now there are a few features on this car that you do like, because there's lots of things you don't like, but we've been trying to work out what you do like. And there are, I think we come up with 3 things. Do you want to name them?
Oh, the first one's the wafting air conditioning. So it moves from side to side so that you don't get too cold, but then you don't get too hot. That's a pretty cool feature.
Mazda, you dropped the ball on this because I don't believe your current cars have that automatic wafter, do they?
No, not at all, no. I like the back seats. They're pretty comfortable. I could probably have a nap in there and maybe I'd get home faster.
Good news, you'll be going all the way back in the back seat. Lucky you.
Oh, exciting.
And the third thing?
I can't remember. It's so hard to choose. The wipers. The wipers being probably how many years old?
Well, we've gone over it, and we believe it was actually put on the road in 1991, even though it was built in 1990. So, what are we saying there? 27-year-old wipers?
Yeah, they do all right.
For a 27, 28-year-old?
Yes, better than my glasses for me, I would say.
So, I know what you're all thinking. What sort of car are you going to get for $500? You can get this car, Mr. and Mrs. Wang's car. Now let me tell you a little bit about this. For sold on Unique Cars and Parts for $500, a one owner. And when it's a one owner, you start to think about the history of it. And being a 1990 model, a little bit difficult to get to the history of it, except in this particular car, where the previous owners were meticulous with their documentation. They even left me their Flybuys card, so I know who it is. And last night I went to the bottle shop and I got them to scan it, and it's still working. Mr. P. Wang, thank you for looking after the car. It's been a beauty. Now, Tim, as part of our research, other than the Flybuys card, you looked up some of the service history of this car, is that right?
That's right, yeah. So I went through the service history and I found that it has had every scheduled service done by Mr. Wang. And most of its kilometres were done in the first 2 years of his ownership. After that, I think there was a date on one of the receipts that it was at about 40,000 kilometres in 1994. So after that, it didn't do much driving for the rest of it.
So 1994 it had done 40,000. Now it's done 57,000. So he's done 17,000 in. It's taken over 20 years to get that up.
That's correct, yeah. I've even got a receipt here for one of the services which was done in 2007. And what they've done is printed out or cut out the newspaper article where it's $160 service cut down to $110. So they've cut out the newspaper article, attached it to the receipt and had the service completed.
Well, thank you again, Mr. Wang. Now, one of the things as we've been going through the service history of this vehicle, we're not quite sure what the issue was, but they had the wheels aligned regularly. So we've been thinking Mr. Wang or Mrs. Wang were apt to hit the gutter quite a few times and put the wheels out of alignment. So we saw more receipts for wheel alignments than anything else, didn't we?
Well, when I was looking through the logbooks, there was all these receipts, if you have a look here, and I thought, how could a car with only 58,000 kilometres have so much work done? But upon opening it all up and reading it, it was just wheel alignments.
Wheel alignment after wheel alignment after wheel alignment is what we come up with.
The wheels are well aligned.
Yes, well aligned. Now, we've driven it from the Gold Coast down to Byron Bay, and I can attest that it's travelling perfectly. It doesn't pull. The steering is absolutely perfect. So, Mr. Wang, once again, thank you. You've got them bloody well aligned. A perfect job.
I'd agree with that, yeah.
And now, your future wife could only find 3 things she likes about this car, but there must have been more for you to say, let's buy it.
Mainly the low kilometres. If you notice, there's a sticker on the back that says 3-year warranty or 60,000 kilometres. So it's still under the kilometres. So I'm questioning if it's still under warranty.
Yeah, we were having this discussion yesterday. We think that what manufacturers should do is say whichever comes last, not whatever comes first. So, if it says your next service is due in 15,000 kilometres or 12 months, we should go 15,000 kilometres because that could be 10 years away and we'll save an awful lot of money, won't we?
Well, the next service sticker says that it needs a service at 62,000 Ks and it hasn't hit that yet, but the date it recommends is in 2005.
Okay, so we're going with the theory then, whichever comes last.
That's correct. It's 16 years overdue if you go by date, but by kilometres, it's not due yet.
We're still good.
Yeah.
And we're going to look after this baby, aren't we? Who wouldn't? For $500, why wouldn't you want to look after it?
We could make money on it, maybe sell it for more.
Well, we might be able to sell it for $600. Who knows?
I think more than that.
Yes, $650. And we'll throw in a cappuccino. So, Mr. and Mrs. Wang didn't do too many modifications to the car, not that we can tell. There's a set of carpet mats in it. That counts as a modification, I guess.
Original Mazda carpet mats. Also, looking through the logbooks, we know that they did rust proofing, fabric protection and paint protection.
And my golly, does it show. Now, with anything, particularly my wife loves to name her cars. Her first car was a Datsun 120Y, and she named that Darren. And then she had a Ford Meteor, Ford Laser, and she called that Larry the Laser. We've got a Z4. We've done another video on that. We've called that one Rudy because we bought it off a guy called Rudy. And we decided to start calling our cars after the names of people that we've bought them from. We just think that makes it a little bit easier. So I'd like to introduce you to the Wang Shitbox Edition. Now, my son bought me the Shitbox Edition badge, special badges that we're able to put on. So it's the Wang Shitbox Edition. It's going off. Cut. Who says you can't have fun in a $500 beta car? We reckon you can, and we've got the Wang 626 Shitbox Edition. Hey! Now, we've nicknamed this the Wang car or Wanker. Because that's how we feel when we drive it. We feel like absolute bloody wankers in our shit box. Okay, that'll do. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. This is Liam and Tim.
Thank you for watching.
And thank you, Kelsey, and my beautiful wife, Joanna, for being the camera woman. And there goes our receipts. Bloody Cyclone Omar. We'll be in touch. Bye.